All right, there's my targets at 400 yards. You'll see the square 2.5 foot by 2.5 foot paper target on the ground, and then above that is the steel plate, which is 12 inches wide by 16 inches tall. All right, so that's what we're shooting at. We're at 400 yards now. Let me back you guys out. Let's see, give this camera a minute to focus. There we go. So, all right, so we're shooting this. All right, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be shooting the Palmetto with the primary arms 1 to 8. The reason is because the results with the other one that had the carry handle scope were just so piss poor. That I'd like to take this out even as far as I can today. So I want to do all the shooting that I can with this, and then if I still got time, I'll go back and try to figure out what's going on with that other scope, because it was shooting fine at 100 yards, and then all of a sudden it wasn't shooting. I couldn't hit 300 yards, so I may have to go back to 200 yards with that one. So we're going to take this to 400 yards now. I'm using the large bipod. I'm going to have to order another one of these. This one's really nice because it's $20, and you can easily screw it, unscrew it with your hand, and you even have more elevate. If you need to go even higher, you can go higher with this. So I'm going to be shooting the steel plate first, which is 16 inches by 12 inches. And if for any reason I can't hit it, then I'll go to the paper and try to figure out where my shots are landing, okay? Other thing. Hit. That one I hurt for sure. Hit. No. I think I even got 2, maybe 3 hits on that at the 400 mark on that scope, which is okay, because you know what, my main goal was, because I've shot this at 400, I've shot this scope on this rifle at 400 yards before. I really want to push out to 500 yards. So let's pause the camera and move out, and let's see how that works. All right, I got you guys now back at 500 yards. I measured it on the rangefinder. I've got 2 magazines loaded, 10 rounds each. I'm going to take 10 shots on the steel target. Hopefully we'll hear the dings. And then I'll take 10 shots on the paper target. Hopefully it's not, hopefully I'm able to have a line of sight to it. Because yeah, you know what? I think it's just, I'm so far back that it looks like it's in the ground. But before I take my shots, what I'm going to do is I'm going to climb up on this high area over here, and make sure that nobody else is coming onto this property, because before I start shooting this distance. Okay, so I can see I got a wind blowing to the left. So I can see I got a wind blowing to the left consistently. So I'm going to hold right a little bit hopefully we'll be able to get some hits. There you go. Try to get my breath under control from that climbing I just did. Okay. I think that was a hit. Nope. Nope. I'm gonna switch it to into the heavier bullets. Let me get some 77 grains. It's hard to judge the wind because I'm way back here. There's definitely a wind blowing to the left. I know I heard one ding. Looks like the wind died now, so I'm gonna hold right on it. Hold on, picking back up. That was a hit. Okay. Holding center. Hit. All right, it's a center hold. I'm gonna go back to the paper target. All right, so a couple of interesting things. Number one, I got the sun like right where I don't want it, right, sitting right in front of me. I did end up having to close one eye because I was trying to block the sun out. So whereas the scope was casting a shadow over my right eye, I was closing it to get the sun out of my left eye. So that's an interesting thing I've kind of never had to do before. It worked. I know on the steel, because here's the thing, the wind kind of, sometimes I have a wind, sometimes I don't. The first hit I got was with a 5-mile-per-hour wind hold, and I don't think I got too many hits after that. And then I think the wind died down, and I went back to the center of the plate. You know, I centered the plate up on my 500 marked hold, and I know I think I got 2 hits on that. And then I picked up the other magazine. I took 10 shots on the paper, so the paper is going to probably give us a lot more information. Let's get down there and take a look at that. All right, guys, coming up to the target here. I can tell you guys, I can see the paper. I am impressed. Okay, first of all, steel target. We can see a bunch of hits here. We don't know which of these were from the 400 yards and which were from the 500 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm going to circle these because we're going to go back and we're just going to focus on 500 yards. But this, I shot all 500 yards. Okay, and we took 10 shots at this, right? 10 shots. Let me zoom you guys out. See if this thing zooms out a little bit. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hits at 500 yards. Okay, now one's off the paper completely, so we can't completely call this a group. But the 9 that did get on the paper, we have a 17-inch group. I'm going to guess that one of them probably went over the top here, because I don't see any hits off to the side here. I would have seen those on the wood. I don't see any new hits. No new hits there. So one of them probably went just over the top over here. 9 hits, man. 9 out of 10 hits at 500 yards. I think that's 1 hit. I don't think that's 2. I think that's just 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hits, 500 yards with the Palmetto AR-15. Like, I think it was like a 300. I mean, basically, I think it was a 300. I think tops it was $350 for the upper, and then I think it was like $150 for the lower. So what is that? $450. Basically, it's a $500 gun, giving me, 9 out of 10 hits at 500 yards. And I don't even think those were the 77 grain bullets. We're going to try this again with the 77 grain bullets. Those were the 55 grain X-tacs. Okay, those were the X-tacs. We were like way back over there to the left, where you see that berm coming up on the left over there. But I am all kinds of impressed, man. And I'm going to mark these over here so that we can tell. We're going to take some more shots at this, and we're going to see if we can get any hits on this. But for this one over here, I ended up holding center, because I was kind of going back and forth. Some of the hits I took on the steel, I was holding 5 for a 5-mile-per-hour wind. I know I got 1 hit with that hold. But then I also got I think one or 2 hits holding center. So it seemed to me like the wind is like just doing different things up and down the range here. So when I went to the paper here, I just went center. And that's, so yeah, we're just going to hold center. And if it goes off to the side, it goes off to the side. So I'm going to change the paper out. We'll start with a fresh new paper here. We'll do this again.